Can you beat Pokemon Diamond only using your rival's team? Doing a single Pokemon challenge for once in the Nickit only run of Sword was a nice change of pace, but let's come back to going through the rivals of all generations. I put this one off for a while cause I honestly really don't like Gen 4, but with remakes of the Sinnoh games being very likely to be the next release in the series, what better way to prepare for that than playing through the originals in this challenge. These games are painstakingly slow compared to literally every other gen, but that's less of a problem if you can use speed up on an emulator. Let's go over the rules. I can only catch and use Pokemon that my rival will use in the next battle. This means having the same evolutionary stages as well. The only reason to catch anything else is an HM incompatibility on my team. I cannot grossly over-level compared to my rival. In fact, passing him in levels should not happen at all unless impossible to avoid. I can teach my Pokemon HMs and TMs and learn or forget moves that he doesn't to show a better trainer can make this a better team. And no items in battle, only held items, balls for catching, and items outside of battle are allowed. Also no glitches or exploits. Note, as per usual, I am playing this on the German version of the game as I'm faster only looking up English names for stuff I need for this script instead of looking up stuff all the time while playing. I'm still forcing myself to get used to the English versions though, with a series of catch-em-all runs I'm doing on Twitch live every Friday. VODs available here on the channel, playlist linked in the description. Also, while I'm plugging already, I also do Nuzlocke on stream every Tuesday and shiny hunting on Sundays. Seriously, if you're not following me on Twitch, you're missing out. Like always, I'm writing the script as I play through the game, so this part has been written before I start. This is the point in the video where you can guess whether I can do this or not, or tell me that this part sounds like I copied it from a dry bread in the comments down below. While you're down there, you might as well leave a like for the YouTube algorithm and sub to the channel, since I know most of you who watch these videos are not subscribed according to my analytics. Anyway, let's go. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chimchar with Piplup, so both my rival and I can start with the same Pokemon. I name my character Dadman as per usual and my rival Asshat as is tradition. It's kinda sad that there hasn't been a nameable rival in recent games if you don't count Let's Go. We start out watching a TV show that's talking about the Red Gyarados from Gen 2 and almost get run over by Asshat. We head downstairs and get run over by Asshat a few more times before setting out towards the nearby lake, cause he wants to catch the Red Gyarados. Once there, we see the professor and his assistant Dawn, who proceeds to forget the suitcase with the starters in the tall grass. Starly attack us and we choose our starter. I choose the Piplup I replaced Chimchar with, so my rival uses the actual Piplup, and we knock out the wild Starly. It only ever used Growl, so it was at most annoying, but not hard. Dawn comes back to pick up the suitcase and we follow her to meet the professor. Now, for some reason the professor says we took Piplup and Turtwig? I don't know if he just goes by what I have in my party, but this is concerning. Let's see what the rival battle will look like. We go home, get running shoes, and leave for the first route. In the next town we meet Dawn again, Asshat runs us over again, and we talk to the professor. We name Piplup Pingu cause I'm the least creative person on the planet. Dawn says she has a Chimchar, which again would fit if I had taken the real Piplup. So again, no idea if that just checks my party for the text. We'll see in a second. I get some balls and catch a Starly who we name Ringo cause Ringo Starly. We go to the next route where Dawn shows us how to catch Pokemon. She indeed has a Chimchar in the tutorial. I hope this isn't a Gen 1 situation where the randomizer doesn't allow me to do this. Either way, we fight our way to the next city, meet Asshat in the school, get a Poketch, so now you know what time I record at, and go fight Asshat on the route to the right. Cause I wanna make sure this is gonna work. Ringo is obviously underleveled, so Asshat's level 7 Starly takes it out. Pingu pounds it off the field and his own Piplup comes out. Okay, good, we're fine. We proceed to corral each other to minimum attack, and I'm smarter than the AI, which is honestly not a huge achievement, and use the special attack we just learned before, Bubble. We barely win, but that's fine, at least my setup works. The next time we fight him won't be until Hearthome City. Until then we can get Piplup to evolve and to level 21, Starly to level 19, and a Roselia and a Ponyta on level 20. So I had to Route 204 and catch a Badoo, which will evolve into a Roselia before that fight. I name it Thorns, and then we head over Route 205 and through the cave, switch training Starly and Badoo on the way. Arriving at the next city, we get taken right to the gym against our will and decide to go heal up instead of talking to Asshat, who is standing in front of the gym. Unfortunately, we can't access Route 206 yet, where we'll get Ponyta later, so we go fetch the gym leader and it's gym time. He leads with a Geodude, I lead with Pingu. A single bubble is all it takes, obviously. He goes to Onix next, and I switch to Thorns to spread out the experience, and he crits with a Rock Throw, while I take him to half with Absorb. He only uses Stealth Rock on the next turn and goes down to another Absorb. Next is Cranidos, and I go back to Piplup. Bubble takes a good chunk of his health, and he leers. Another Bubble takes him to red, and he potions the next turn, making Bubble take him to yellow. He pursues and takes a good chunk of my health, but Bubble knocks him out, winning us the first batch. We go back to Jubilife and find Dawn and the Professor with Team Galactic and enter a double battle with Dawn against the Grunts. Obviously that's easy, so not much to talk about here. Up to the north we need Rock Smash to continue, but nobody on the team can learn it. This means we quickly catch an HM slave, a Psyduck, who we don't even nickname as it'll be boxed as soon as we're past this anyway. So we break the rocks, steamroll some plants and bugs with a tiny bird, and drop the yellow duck into the PC once we reach the next town. On the next route, a little girl wants us to save her dad at the power plant. We go back the other direction instead and get the key to the place from 2 Galactic Grunts, and then go through the power plant to save the girl's dad. None of the Galactic guys are worth talking about up until Mars in the power plant. I go in without healing the first time and his Zubat already takes out Pingu. No idea how a Zubat managed to take out a freaking starter, but yeah. His Ugly is a freaking tank, so neither Ringo nor Thorns can take it out right there. That also didn't help with evolving Thorns before the rival fight, as Badoo evolves with Friendship. Honestly, this is already the first part of the game that isn't possible without power leveling over Mars's levels, unless you count entirely depending on luck, hoping for Ugly to get parried every turn. Double Team also doesn't do much, cause he has Feint Attack which can't miss. And none of my Pokemon are bulky in the least, so Ugly takes them out easily without taking much damage. I decide to go beat a few trainers I skipped and evolve Pingu. Thorns also levels up and learns Mega Drain, and Pingu learns Metal Claw. Next attempt, I take the Zubat out with Ringo, using 2 wing attacks and a quick attack, then I go to Pingu for Ugly and get him pretty low with a few bubbles and Metal Claws. After Pingu faints, I go back to Ringo and wing attack and quick attack it down to basically nothing, before Ringo also faints. Lastly, 1 Mega Drain from Thorns is the last hit necessary to win. Thorns almost gets 2 entire levels from this kill. So we go on over the next route and through the forest, keeping Ringo from evolving a bunch of times on the way, since our rivals will still have a Starly on level 19. For whatever reason. In the next town we get an Explorer Kit and the add-on for the Poketch that shows us the friendship status for our Pokemon. None show any hearts yet, not even our starter. That means they all have a stat of between 0 and 99. Badoo, the only one that really matters for this, has a base friendship of 70, so we didn't even get 30 points up yet. Wow. We need to get it to 220 friendship to evolve. And level ups only give 2 every time. Running 255 steps also gives a 50% chance of it going up by 1. I feel like I'll run up and down the city for a good while in the very near future, as the next city after this is Hardhome, where we will fight our rival. So I went ahead and watched WrestleMania 36 on the WWE Network while just running back and forth until my Badoo gets to 220 friendship points. By the way, despite my username, I do not have any affiliation with World Wrestling Entertainment. I just mentioned that because it's literally what I did. So after a lot of walking, I tried checking for hearts on the friendship checker, and apparently the thing is a bit buggy on emulator because the heart hardly flashes up at all. So just to make sure my friendship level is correct, I export my save in a format that is readable by PKHex and take a look at the friendship stat of my Badoo, and it turns out I'm at 239, which is easily enough. So I go to the gym and switch train Thorns on the gym trainers that are all mandatory for this gym until the next level up, and Thorns evolves into a Roselia. The rest of this gym, I split experience between Pingu and Ringo, so Ringo doesn't over level, and then it's gym leader time. She leads with Cherubi and I send out Pingu. She sets up with Growth and hits 1 Grass Knot, but 3 packs are enough to knock the Cherubi out. Next is Turtwig. I keep packing as she raises her defense and misses a Razor Leaf. The second Razor Leaf hits though and takes Pingu out. I go to Thorns and a critical Mega Drain takes care of the rest of Turtwig's health. Last is her Roserade. Thorns paralyzes her with Stun Spore and I start using Growth to do any damage with Mega Drain. I also get paralyzed while Magical Leaves and Grass Nuts do nothing. After 6 growths and using my Health Berry, my Mega Drains still hardly do damage, but I get her to half health before switching to Ringo. Magical Leaf takes me to yellow even though it's resisted, and Wing Attack gets her to red. Like Thorns, the Roserade is holding a berry and heals a bit before paralyzing Ringo. Now Ringo had a 25% chance to get to move by Roserade getting parried. We got that. Then Ringo had another 25% chance of dying instead of getting to kill the Roserade, and he took that like a champ. Obviously Thorns has natural cures since it didn't come out with the paralysis anymore, but a misclick on Stun Spore and only having 1 HP left was enough to lose. Reset! The second time Pingu takes out Cherubi again and I switch to Thorns for Turtwig. It only raises its defense and Razor Leaf doesn't do much to me, so I set up 6 growths, Mega Drain it to death, and last is her Roserade, who I paralyze and then keep on using Mega Drain until we win. Just needed to set up on the correct mon. Thorns learns Magical Leaf and we get the badge and the TM for Grass Knot. Up next is the Galactic Tower. The grunts are easy, but Jupiter's Skunk Tank is a brick wall. On the second attempt, I take out Zubat with Pingu and switch to Thorns on Skuntank. Stun Spore hits and some extremely lucky full paras later, Thorns goes down and Ringo takes care of the rest, reaching level 19, so we can't use him until the rival fight anymore. Now grab the bike and get to Route 206 to get a Ponyta. After avoiding most trainers on the cycling path so we don't overlevel, I catch a Ponyta and name it Wildfire, the standard name for its evolution line in my Nuzlocke. I level up Wildfire along the way over to Hardhome and it's rival time. He leads with Starly, I lead with Pingu. Wing Attack and Quick Attack do some damage, but a few bubbles is all it takes to take Starly down. Next is his Roselia, so I go to Wildfire. Even at 3 levels lower I outspeed him, and him using Mega Drain makes this take 4 instead of 3 Embers to win. Next is his Piplup, so I go to Thorns. Magical Leaf takes him way into yellow, while Bubble does nothing to me. Mega Drain gives him the rest, while healing me back to full. Last is his Ponyta, so I go back to Pingu and 3 bubbles finish him off, while he can't do much damage to me. So until the next battle in Pastoria City, we can level up a bit. Yeah, that's right. No evolutions, no new mons. Why are you not evolving your Starly, you absolute troglodyte? So yeah, let's continue towards Veilstone and beat the gym there. The way there was pretty uneventful, apart from Pingu learning Bubble Beam, Wildfire learning Stomp, and Thorns learning Grass Whistle, so let's go to the gym leader battle. She leads with Meditite, I send out Thorns. She somehow gets Detect to work 3 times in a row before I can land a Grass Whistle. I swap to Ringo and 2 wing attacks take Meditite out. Next is her Machoke and I go back to Thorns for Grass Whistle. Back to Ringo and Machoke wakes up first turn. Again back to Thorns for Grass Whistle and again it wakes up right away and finishes Ringo. I go to Wildfire but Stomp hardly does anything and doesn't flinch, so Wildfire goes down as well. Out comes Pingu and 2 Pecks and a Bubble Beam take Machoke down. Last is her Lucario, and even with Thorns at level 25, I need my last Grass Whistle to work, or Lucario beats us. Thorns is back out, and of course Grass Whistle misses, and Thorns goes down. Pingu lands a Bubble Beam, but Force Palm and Bone Rush hitting 3 times finishes us off. Reset. I usually don't go for this kind of luck strat, but I attempted putting her Pokemon to sleep and then set up 6 double teams with Ringo so we can sweep with Wing Attack without getting hit, but the Machoke keeps hitting every single attack through 6 fucking double teams. If any of you ever commented double team is lame, it's completely OP on any of the other channels that do Pokemon challenges frequently, here is your proof that the move is actually utter garbage and they just keep redoing it until they somehow get stupidly lucky. In general, this fight is 100% luck based, as it absolutely doesn't matter which strat I try. Either I get hit literally at every attack through 6 fucking double teams, or her mons wake up first turn after going to sleep, or I miss Grass Whistle 4 to 5 times in a row, and die because of that. So basically I can't get through this with this garbage team without ever overleveling or getting absolutely impossible amounts of luck. So after 1 hour of speed up resetting over and over, I decide I'm leveling all my mons to 1 level below the current cap for the next rival fight, and if that still doesn't help, fuck the level cap. That would make this the 2nd rival challenge in a row to basically lose to the level cap being impossible to keep because of a gym. Let's see. So on the 3rd attempt with the levels boosted, I put Meditite to sleep with Grass Whistle, switch to Ringo and Aerial Ace it to death. Then I switch back to Thorns for Machoke, miss Grass Whistle twice and get put into red, then hit, it wakes up the next turn and Ringo takes it out after a switch. Last is her Lucario and I go back to Thorns and get Force Palmed. Ringo dies to Drain Punch, Wildfire to Bone Rush, and Pingu lands a lucky crit Bubble Beam after a missing Metal Claw from Lucario for the win. So basically I won cause the AI threw on that last move choice. All other moves would have hit since they're 100% accuracy, but whatever. Coming out of the gym, Dawn wants us to help her get her Pokédex back from Team Galactic, so we follow her to the hideout and take out a few grunts. We pick up the HM for Fly and teach it to Ringo instead of Wing Attack, since he already has Aerial Ace, which is literally a better wing attack. Also, only Ringo and Wildfire are allowed to still level up now, but we kind of have to get through the next route and another gym for the next rival battle to happen. This means if we overlevel now, that is fine since we have to fight these trainers to make progress. I'll try keeping the overleveling to a minimum obviously, but we'll see. So the water gym leader leads with a Gyarados, I lead with Ponyta to catch the Intimidate without it affecting any of the mons I actually want to use, and also to split experience. So nobody overlevels. However, the Gyarados has Dragon Rage, which is a 2-shot on literally everything I have. It has Taunt, so it confuses my Pokemon and boosts the damage I do when I hit myself. Pingu literally does 0 damage to it, and I don't even get to try to use Grass Whistle, since when I switch to Thorns, it goes down in 2 hits. Either from Dragon Rages, or bites, or self-inflicted damage. So I switch Thorns in first position and put Gyarados to sleep. 2 Giga Drains kill it off. Next is Floatzel, and I hard switch to Pingu after it's out to get the experience spread out a bit. Pingu, weirdly enough, does the most damage with a not very effective bubble beam, but in the end the Floatzel goes down. Last is his Quagsire, and I go to Thorns, put it to sleep, but that wasn't really necessary as Giga Drain is quad effective and one-shots. So before the next rival fight, we have Pingu 1 level above and Thorns 2 levels above where they should be, which is unavoidable, so it's fine. Let's mop the floor with our rival now. He leads with Starly, I send out Pingu. He double teams but Bubble Beam hits anyway and one-shots. Next is his Roselia, so I go to Ringo. He Mega Drains, I fly and one-shot again. Next is his Prinplup, and I decide to show who's the better Prinplup and send out Pingu. A couple of Metal Claws, Bubble Beams and Brines later, he goes down. His last mon is obviously Ponyta, and I switch to my own Ponyta as well, since why not? This one is too easy otherwise. I make the mistake of using a fire attack even though I know Ponyta has Flash Fire since I looked up his team, so he eventually two-shots me with Stomp. I go to Ringo and finish it off in 2 aerial aces. Now after this, Ringo can finally evolve into Staravia. Until the next battle in Canalave City, we can level Ringo all the way to 36, Thorns and Wildfire to 35 and Pingu to 36. And we can also catch a Heracross and get it to level 37. Now there is one giant problem with Heracross. They only spawn in honey trees. The honey tree exclusives of Gen 4 are one of the most annoying set of Pokemons ever, and I am not sure I can actually find one of these things legit. I will definitely try, but I might end up just jetting one in cause I want this video to be done before 2022. Or within this decade, if we look at the next mon afterwards that we can get, Snorlax. The only way of getting Snorlax is by evolving a Honeytree Munchlax, which is even rarer than a Heracross, like stupidly fucking rare. What makes this worse is Honeytrees require you to come back after putting honey on them 6 hours after you put the honey on. The Pokemon will stay here to be encountered from 6 hours after honey application until 24 hours later when the tree resets. Now, if I did this on an actual DS, that would be 6 real-life hours every time, as the game detects system clock changes on the DS. Fortunately, I am playing on an emulator, so I can manipulate my PC system clock to 6 hours ahead to get the encounters immediately. This will still take some time, especially for the Munchlax, as that can apparently only show up in set locations based on internal values of the game that I can't really figure out easily. But as I said, I'll try for every encounter with, and should I get a Munchlax while searching for a Heracross, I'll catch it and box it until we can use it. And if I can't find a Munchlax or a Heracross in a reasonable time frame, I'll gen them in, as this challenge is about whether I can beat the game with the team, not whether I can get lucky enough to get a stupidly rare encounter. So, Heracross actually worked decently fast. Only took me about half an hour of soft resetting and changing my system clock. I name it Goliath after the kind of beetle and fly back to go after the Galactic Grunt. We beat up the Grunt with Goliath and Wildfire and meet the champion of the region, Cynthia, at the entrance of the lake. She gives us a potion for the Psyduck at Route 210, and we fly back to get Defog from the tower. Wait, that was strength. I guess I'll take that anyway and teach it to Goliath, who I also taught Rock Smash, cause stab. So we fly back to get the HM for Defog out of the marsh, and then get the Psyduck out of the way. Cynthia comes up from behind and gives us something to give to her grandma in the next city, cause using random kids as a free delivery service is tradition in these games by now, and we keep going. Once in Celestic Town, we mop the floor with a Galactic Grunt, give Cynthia's granny her trinket, check out the ruins and get the HM for Surf from her so we can go on to the next gym now. So we fly back to Hardhome, enter the gym there, the leader is on mid-30s for levels, and right after this we also go for Canalave, where there is another gym and the penultimate rival fight, so around 30 would be good for our levels, especially since we have nothing that is super effective on ghosts, the theme of this gym. Let's see how we do. I answer a few questions wrong just to be able to level grind a bit before the leader, and we fight her with this team. She leads with Driftblim, I lead with Goliath. I keep aerial acing for the rest of my PP for it, and then wait for her to kill me since none of my other moves hit ghosts. And she keeps switching instead. Eventually she knocks me out and I go to Ringo, a few more aerial aces and Ringo goes down. Pingu takes down the Driftblim eventually, but her Mismagius flat out tanks the rest of the team. Well, then let's try some different strats instead. After an hour of resetting and no tactic working, I decide to go grind the entire team to level 30 instead. While looking up whether Ponyta learns any physical fire moves, since judging by the damage it does, its special sucks, even with the special attack plus nature we have, I realize the rival's Ponyta gets Flame Wheel. Ponyta does not learn Flame Wheel until Gen 5, and Flame Wheel is not a TM. So, to the surprise of absolutely fucking nobody, the rival is a fucking hacker bitch, as if that wasn't clear by him having a Snorlax later, as mentioned before. Anyway, rematch at level 30. I lead with Pingu this time. She does good damage with Astonish and Gust, but 2 Surfs and the Brine make short work of Driftblim. Next is Mismagius, and I switch to Thorns. A Shadow Ball leaves me with 19 health, so Thorns eats the berry she was holding, recovering 9 HP, but getting confused. Nonetheless, Grass Whistle hits, and I switch to Goliath. Mismagius wakes up the next turn, and even through constant confusion, I hit a bunch of aerial aces and we both eat our health berries. Eventually, Mismagius is in yellow and Goliath goes down to a Shadow Ball. Ringo is next, and Psybeam takes off a good chunk of her health. Aerial Ace knocks out Mismagius though, Gengar is last, and I send Thorns back out. Gengar is 4 levels higher though and outspeeds, killing with Poison Jab. Wildfire is next, Ember does absolutely nothing as expected, and it goes down to Poison Jab as well. Ringo comes out and immediately starts hitting itself twice in a row, but due to Fantina absolutely throwing, I get off 3 more aerial aces, making her live on literally 1 HP. Cause this game is stupid and it should feel stupid. Then I still get to attack 2 more times cause Fantina is still throwing, but the second attack hits myself, so Ringo is down. And Pingu is last. Shadow Claw takes Pingu to 20 HP and Surf one-shots the rest of Gengar's HP to the win. Coming out of the gym, Cynthia tells us to go to Canalave. There we will get to do another gym and the next rival battle. I totally forgot that the rival battle is first, so I run into him with the team we just used for the gym. So we basically underleveled, but let's try anyway. I lead with Ponyta cause I used its runaway ability to run from encounters on the way here. He sends out Staravia. Unfortunately, he crits me with Quick Attack and Wildfire is still pretty useless, so it goes down. I go to Pingu and finish it with Brine. Next is with Roselia, so I switch to Ringo. 2 aerial aces is all it takes, while he only leech seeds. Next is Prinplup, so I switch to Thorns and Magical Leaf it off the field, even if he does massive damage with aerial ace. Up next is his Ponyta, so I go back to Pingu. He uses Takedown and I one-shot with Surf. Last is his Heracross, so I go back to Ringo and aerial ace one-shots. That was easier than expected. So for the final battle, we get a Snorlax as mentioned before, evolve everything to its final evolution, and get to the high 40s in level on everything and even to 51 for our starter. Now, the search for Munchlax, our only way of getting Snorlax, is not gonna be fun. So I sure as fuck don't feel like doing it right away. For Roselia's Evo, we need a Shiny Stone, which we'll get on Iron Island, where we need to go anyway, so that is fine. The others evolve by level, so that's gonna happen by itself. Before we do anything else though, I wanna just take out the gym, as it's a steel gym, so it's a good way of training up Wildfire. Also Goliath, cause fighting. Let's skip ahead to the leader fight. He leads with Bronzor, I lead with Wildfire. I just spam Amber while he tries a few different things that all don't really work, apart from him deciding to heal once, and hitting an extra sensory at the end, but he still goes down. Next is his Steelix, and I go to Pingu since Wildfire is low on health. Surf leaves him with literally 1 HP, and he full restores the next turn. 2 brines finish him off though. Last is his Bastiodon, which is nice because it's also ground, so I stay out and Surf takes care of it easy. So off to Iron Island, get the Shiny Stone, Evolve Thorns. Then it's time to try for Munchlax. So I found a nice site that tells you some of the trees that can be Munchlax based on your trainer ID. As I said, only a few can have Munchlax, 4 to be exact. The site is linked in the description down below. And it told me 2 of my most probable Munchlax trees. I tried for 30 minutes on one, switched to the other, and got it after about an hour and a half of searching. In that time, I also encountered 4 more Heracross. Either way, I caught it in a quick ball and named it Hurley after the one from my Soul Silver Egglocke. Next is a bunch more running around trying to get the friendship up to evolve it. At least I had a good amount of levels to go until it would reach the level it can beat for the final fight, so at least I didn't need to check friendship levels in PKX. Honestly, I feel like catching and evolving the mons for this team was more of a challenge than the actual challenge. Anyway, off to the library in Canalave, check out the lakes before getting to the 7th gym. On the way, Pingu evolves into Empoleon. Time for the Ice Gym. She leads with Snover, I send out Wildfire, Ember doesn't quite kill, and she uses a Hyper Potion. 2 Embers later, Snover is down though. Abomasnow is next, and I stay in. 2 Embers take it into red. It has a berry to put it in kill range, but it also uses Swagger to confuse me. I, of course, hit myself in confusion, cause it would be a fucking miracle if I wouldn't, and Wood Hammer takes Wildfire out. I go to Goliath and finish it off with Brick Break. Next is Medicham, so I stay in again. I go for Aerial Ace and Detect makes sure the first one doesn't hit. I chip away with Aerial Ace and eventually Medicham goes down, leaving me with 12 HP between the hail and it actually hitting attacks after boosting. Last is her Sneasel, so I stay in again to go for Brick Break, but Feint Attack takes Goliath out before that. So I go to Pingu and 2 Metal Claws take care of the Sneasel, 7th badge done. Up next we go for the Team Galactic stuff, so we get a key, go downstairs, get another key, go upstairs, free the Lake Spirits and climb Mount Cornet to get to the Sky Pillar. On the way up, Ringo evolves into Staraptor. After the Galactic boss fights, I'm glad I've brought revives and potions, cause Cyrus was quite a bit over our levels. And we actually have to fight Dialga right away. So we get into the Dialga fight, leading with Hurley, but I forgot Dialga was steel, so return does practically nothing. And it finishes off Hurley with Roar of Time. I go to Goliath and Brick Break almost kills, and Aerial Ace finishes him off. So much for the legendary, now off to get the last badge. On the way through the gym puzzle, we fight one trainer with a Raichu that kept paralyzing my Pokemon. I literally got fully parried 6 times in a row. Being fully parried has a chance of 25%. That makes this sequence have a 0.024% chance of happening. I love Pokemon. Anyway, leader fight. He starts off with Raichu, I lead with Hurley, he does good damage with Brick Break and Charge Beam, but 2 returns are enough to take him out, while Hurley gets back a bit of health from the leftovers he's holding. I stay out on his Luxray hoping to get at least 1 attack off, but Thunderfang takes the rest of Hurley's health. So I go to Thorns, put him to sleep with Grass Whistle. After he parries me, he wakes up after 1 turn and I get fully parried, so he finishes me off. Next is Goliath, and Brick Break does good damage, so do his electric attacks. He heals with a berry, Thunder Waves, I get fully parried, cause fuck actually calculating chances, we're just gonna have you be fully parried every time you have a paralyzed Pokemon, and he finishes Goliath off. I send out Wildfire and Thunderfang one-shots. Pingu goes out, survives one Charge Beam, which he keeps on hitting somehow, serves the Luxray to low health, and Aqua Jets him into red while he Thunder Waves. He heals, I get fully parried for the literally 269th time in the past 5 minutes, and he takes Pingu out. Ringu is last, gets Thunder Waved, gets fully parried, and taken out by the 5th Charge Beam to not miss in a row. I fucking hate this game. So, more levels and less bullshit, please. After grinding everyone to level 45, we try again. Hurley takes way less damage from Brick Break now, but gets parried by Static again, and fully parried the next turn. Eventually, I take the Raichu down though. Luxray is out, I stay in again, but Crunch takes Hurley out. I go to Thorns again, and put him to sleep with Grass Whistle. A few Sludge Bombs later, he goes down. Next is his Ambipom, and I stay in again. It uses Baton Pass and goes to his last Mon, Octillery, who goes to sleep immediately. Magical Leaf almost takes him out, but he goes for a full restore. The next Magical Leaf crits and takes Octillery out. Now the Ambipom for last. It goes to sleep from Grass Whistle as well and takes a Sludge Bomb before waking up again. And the second Sludge Bomb is all it takes, and we have all badges. We get the HM for Waterfall and teach it to Pingu instead of Aqua Jet, even if I hate doing that, but nobody else can learn it. And get through Victory Road and to the league. These are our levels before the rival fight. His team is higher level, but I think we should still be able to do this. He leads with Staraptor. I still have Wildfire in front, cause I used it to run from wild Pokemon, cause runaway ability. Fire Blast takes off half his health, so does Close Combat for us. I go for Takedown, but miss, and he Aerial Aces me to death. I go to Hurley, and Return finishes him off. Next is his Heracross, and I stay in. Return does half of his health again, but Close Combat finishes Hurley. Up next is Ringo, and Close Combat does over half my health again. Aerial Ace is enough to finish it though. Next is his Rapidash, so I switch to Pingu. Surf and Waterfall take care of it, as it only bounces for a little damage. His Snorlax is next, so I go to Goliath and do half his health with Brick Break. Body Slam one-shots me though. I go to Pingu and 2 Surfs take the rest of his health. He goes to Roserade next, and I switch back to Ringo. Somehow Giga Drain kills me before I can do anything. Thorns is out and puts Roserade to sleep. He switches to his Empoleon, so my Sludge Bomb does nothing, and I also put the Empoleon to sleep. Unfortunately, Magical Leaf is not very strong, so he wakes up before I can finish him and kills Thorns off. Pingu is hardly even there anymore, so obviously I lose. Let's try that again at his levels. So we lead with Hurley this time, and 2 returns take out Staraptor. He goes to Heracross, so I send out Ringo. And wait. The site I was using for his team told me his Heracross was level 48, not 50. What the hell? Anyway, I go for Fly as Close Combat takes half my health, and one-shot with my Fly next turn. His Rapidash is next and also higher level than my source tells me, but Pingu serves it off the field right away. Next is his Snorlax, and I switch to Wildfire cause I was writing this script when the Pokemon he was switching to showed up, and I thought he might go to Roserade. Anyway, I go for Fire Blast, do very little damage, he rests for no reason, and I go to Goliath and 2-shot him with Brick Break. Empoleon is next, and I go to Thorns. Grass Whistle misses once, but he goes to sleep on the second. His Empoleon is also 2 levels higher than mine. By the way, either way, I take half his health with Magical Leaf, and he wakes up and Aerial Aces. Back to Goliath, and Brick Break finishes him off. His Roserade is last, and I switch to Wildfire. Fire Blast and Ember finish this battle. And with that, we have no more level caps. Let's try the Elite Four right away. Okay, Elite Four member 1, Bug types. He leads with Dustox, I send out Hurley. Return immediately sends him back to his Pokeball. Next is Heracross, so I go to Wildfire. One close combat is all it takes to send Wildfire right back. Ringo is up next and gets one shot with Stone Edge. My own Heracross Goliath is next, and Aerial Ace sends the opposing Heracross off the field in one shot. Beauty flies out, and for the first time in this fight, neither of us one-shot the other. Two Aerial Aces take care of it though. His Drapion is next, and Aerial Aces Goliath off the field. Hurley comes out, and I lower his defense with Rock Smash, and then spam Return until he Hyper Potions, and then more Return until Drapion finally faints. The leftovers on Hurley sure helped with not dying there. Last is his Vespiquen, and I stay out, landing 2 returns before Attack Order takes Hurley's last bit of health. Out comes Pingu and finishes Vespiquen off with a critical Surf. Let's heal up and go on. Second member, Ground types. She leads with Quagsire, I lead with Hurley again. Return doesn't hit cause she protects. Then she sets up a Sandstorm and switches to Sudowoodo. I switch to Rock Smash on Hurley and get her below half health, but the Sandstorm negating the leftovers makes it easy for her to get Hurley to 0. Pingu is out and serves the Sudowoodo off the field. Out next is her Hippowdon, and I stay in for water moves. Somehow a fucking Hippo is faster than my Penguin, and Earthquakes is super effective cause Empoleon is garbage, there I said it. I send out Thorns and 2 magical leaves, one of which is a crit, take out Hippowdon, but the Sandstorm also faints Thorns. I have no idea what I'm up against for the next month, so I just go for Goliath. She throws out a Whiscash and Goliath goes down after putting it into red health. Ringo is next, and Quick Attack unfortunately doesn't outspeed Potions. Aerial Ace takes her out over a few turns, but Ringo also takes a good amount of damage. Next is a Golem, and I basically don't have anything to counter that anymore. Ringo does hardly anything with flying type attacks and goes down after 2 turns. Wildfire is last and obviously doesn't stand a chance, going down to a single Earthquake. Retry! I lead with Thorns this time and one-shot Quagsire with Magical Leaf. Whiscash is second and I go for Grass Whistle instead of just killing it. So it then Headbutts and then Fishes me. It actually hits Fissure too. I go to Hurley and start using Return again. She then Headbutts and switches to Sudowoodo. I switch to Goliath as she switches again, this time to Golem. Earthquake takes up half my health, but Brick Break and Rock Smash take care of the Golem eventually. She goes back to Whiscash, so I go back to Hurley. She switches to Sudowoodo again, and I switch to Goliath again. And I take her out with Brick Break and Aerial Ace before fainting to the Sandstorm. I predict Whiscash coming back, so I go to Hurley and Return again until Whiscash goes down. Hippowdon is out, and I keep using Return until I run out, and then I go with Strength for the finishing blow. That was a weird battle. Third member, Fire types. I lead with Pingu for obvious reasons, even if fire attacks are neutral on it cause fucking Steel. His Rapidash is first and Flame Blitz takes me to low health. Surf one-shots it in return, Infernape is next, and Mach Punch takes out Pingu before I can do anything else. Have I said that I fucking hate Steel yet? Ringo is out and Fly takes half of his health. He keeps Mach Punching and I Aerial Ace him to red. Quick Attack once again doesn't outspeed healing and Ringo goes down before he can do any more. Goliath is next and keeps up the Aerial Ace. He for some reason goes for Earthquake and Thunder Punch instead of a fire move, so Infernape goes down. And Riftblim is next, cause that is now a fire type apparently. What the fuck are you doing, mate? I switch to Wildfire and Fire Blast it while it uses Baton Pass and goes to Steelix, which makes less sense as it's weak to fire. Fire Blast leaves it with a sliver of health and it sets up Sunny Day. He's obviously throwing right there. Also, Steelix ain't no fire type, you moron, stop it. Ember finishes Steelix off, Lopunny is next, which is also not a fire type. And Fire Blast takes half of its health. Lopunny uses Mirror Coat, I hate that thing, and Wildfire gets one-shotted. Goliath comes out and Brick Breaks until Lopunny faints, even with Charm cutting my attack and him healing in between. Drifblim is back and I stay out. Aerial Ace hardly does anything. The other attacks won't hit it since it's a ghost, so Ominous Wind takes Goliath down. Thorns is out and Shadow Balls, but Ominous Wind is still too much, and Hurley doesn't have anything that can hit ghosts, while Drifblim has Will-O-Wisp, so I die to burn. Retry! We start the same way as before, but Rapidash goes for Bounce instead of Flame Blitz, so Pingu gets paralyzed and one-shots with Surf. The Infernape also can't kill me yet, and also gets one-shotted with Surf. Lopunny is out, sets up Sunny Day, doesn't attack for another few turns, and gets put into yellow from Surf, before putting Pingu down. Goliath Brick Breaks the Lopunny off the field, and Drifblim is next. Thorns puts it to sleep and Shadow Balls before he switches to Steelix. I switch to Wildfire and one-shot with Fire Blast. Drifblim is back out since it's the last thing he has, and I keep Shadow Balling with Thorns. He potions and Ominous Wind takes Thorns down. Wildfire can't do much damage before also fainting to Ominous Wind. Ringo is out and Aerial Aces as he tries setting up with Double Team. Too bad for him that Aerial Ace never misses, cause this way he completely throws and Ringo takes out his last mon. Member number 4, Psychic types. Mr. Mime is out on his side, I lead with Hurley. Return and Strength gets it to low health as it sets up a light screen and heals up. Some more returns later and Mr. Mime is down. Medicham is next and I go to Ringo. Fly does good damage, but Fire Punch takes Ringo out. Goliath Aerial Aces for the rest of Medicham's health, and I go to Thorns for Alakazam. It outspeeds with Psychic and one-shots. Hurley is back out and Return does over half, then Goliath has to come back after Hurley faints and use Strength to kill it off. Girafarig is next and I go to Pingu, 2 serves is all it takes. Last is his Bronzong and serve 2 shots due to the second one being a crit. Off to the champion. So Cynthia took a couple of attempts, so let's jump to the successful one right away. She leads with Spiritomb, I lead with Pingu. 3 serves take it out, while Psychic does little to Pingu. Next is Gastrodon, and I go to Thorns. 2 magical leaves take care of it, while Muddy Water does a third. Lucario is next, and Goliath is out to deal with it. Brick Break is enough to 2-shot, and Dragon Pulse and Aura Sphere take Goliath into red. Milotic is next, and Hurley takes it on with Return. She-Fool restores after a while, but only keeps going for Mirror Code, so I get a free win. Garchomp comes out and I stay in. Return doesn't do much, but nothing I have will, so it's fine. Brick Break and Earthquake take Hurley out, and Goliath comes back to take a Giga Impact and faints. Pingu goes for a Surf while he recharges and gets him to yellow before Thorns has to come out and put Garchomp to sleep and poison it with Sludge Bomb after a full restore. This puts Garchomp on a timer and Ringo comes in. Fly stalls a turn of poison and in the end Quick Attack and poison killed Garchomp. Ringo levels up and wants to learn Brave Bird. As I know the last mon is a grass type by now, I forget Aerial Ace for it to maybe one-shot it. Roserade is out and Sludge Bomb takes Ringo out before he could use his new move. Wildfire is my last mon, so we both don't have anything left in reserve. We outspeed and Fire Blast hits for a clean one-shot, winning me the league and the challenge. So we beat Pokemon Diamond only using the rival's team, while not even reaching his final levels on most of my Pokemon. God, I'm glad this one is done. This felt like it took an entire fucking year to get through, even with speed up. Gen 4 is so freaking slow. I'll probably feel like I have speed up on by default in the Pokemon Black one that is coming after this one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and check out the playlist of my other Pokemon challenges I've done. Link is in the description, as well as in the iCard on the top right of the video. My name is WW Dadman, and I will see you in the next video.